You know the feeling. It's been a long day. You finally crash on the couch, you open up Netflix, and instead of picking one of the thousands of new shows, you go right back to that one comfort show you've seen a dozen times. So, why do we do that? Well, today we're going to get into the surprising psychology behind why you absolutely love to rewatch. So, let me guess. You're about to press play on The Office for what feels like the 19th time, right? I mean, you know exactly when Jim is going to look at the camera. You're already quoting Michael Scott's "That's what she said" before he even says it. Or hey, maybe it's Friends for the 23rd time. You know for a fact that Rachel gets off the plane, but somehow you are ready to live through it all over again.
Now look, your friends might think you're a little bit stuck, and your streaming algorithm is probably just given up trying to recommend new things to you. But here's the secret: you're not just stuck in a rut. Your brain is actually onto something really profound, and we're about to break it all down.
Okay, so this brings us to our first big idea: your brain's favorite rerun. You know, the central mystery here is, why on earth would we watch something when we already know the ending? Well, it turns out, knowing what happens next, that's the entire point. It all comes down to this really fascinating psychological idea called the mirror exposure effect. Basically, the more you see something, whether it's a song, a person's face, or, yeah, a sitcom from 2005, the more you actually start to like it. It's a simple concept, but it explains so much, like why you might feel a deeper connection to the characters in Parks and Rec than your actual next-door neighbors.
And that preference for what's familiar, well, it leads directly to this incredible sense of comfort. See, our brains just crave predictability, especially when the world feels anything but. So when you hit play on a favorite show, you're basically putting your brain on cognitive cruise control.
And this quote just says it all. When the world feels totally unpredictable and chaotic, your favorite show becomes a safe space. It's like you're wrapped in a cognitive blanket fort. You know exactly how it all ends, you know who gets together, and that gives you this huge sense of security. So let's just break down the difference in mental energy here. When you watch a brand new show, your brain is in full-on detective mode, right? You're hunting for clues, you're analyzing characters, you're trying to guess the twists. It's a lot of work. It can be exhausting. But rewatching? That's low effort. It's like you're just visiting old friends. No surprises, no betrayals, just pure comforting familiarity. But the psychology here goes even deeper. Rewatching isn't just about feeling good in the moment. It's also a powerful way to connect with our past. A familiar story can literally act like a time capsule. Just think about it with a movie like The Lion King. When you watched it as a kid, you were Simba. It was all about adventure and Hakuna Matata. Then, maybe in your 20s, you watch it again, and suddenly, you get Mufasa. You understand his fears about mortality. And then much later in life, you watch it and you finally truly get what he meant about legacy and the great circle of life. You see, when you press play, you're not just watching a story unfold. You are reconnecting with the person you were the first time you saw it. Maybe it's the show you and your sister watch every single week, or the movie that you and your best friend were completely obsessed with. You're actually visiting a past version of yourself.
And that brings us to what might be the most powerful insight of all. When you rewatch something, the story itself, it's locked in time. It never changes, but you do.
This is the key. This is everything. You're never really watching the same thing twice because you've changed. All of your life experiences, your new perspective, your emotional growth, it all creates this new lens. You'll catch jokes you missed, you'll understand the themes that went over your head, and you find brand new meaning in the same old story. Okay, so let's bring this back down to earth for a second, because there's also a very practical, very real reason we rewatch stuff. Our brains are just plain tired. Rewatching is kind of like having an emotional remote control. Get this. Some studies suggest that the average person makes around 7,000 conscious decisions every single day. What to wear, what to eat, which email to answer first, all of that mental energy leads to a very real thing called decision fatigue. I mean, does this look familiar to anyone? Choosing a new show is just one more decision. What if it's bad? What if you invest 10 hours and you end up hating it? Or you could just put on Good Will Hunting for the 30th time and know for a fact that you're going to get exactly what your brain needs. It's zero risk, maximum comfort. It's just efficient. So really, rewatching becomes this amazing tool for self-soothing. Therapists have even noticed how it can reduce anxiety by giving us a sense of control when the world feels so chaotic. Those predictable emotional moments, the guaranteed laugh, the safe cry, it's like a weighted blanket for your brain.
So the next time someone gives you a hard time for watching the same thing again, you can tell them this is not a guilty pleasure. Far from it. You are engaging in a psychologically beneficial practice. It promotes emotional stability and provides comfort. So there.
At the end of the day, your comfort show isn't some crutch that's holding you back from new things. It's a companion. It's a reminder of who you were, a reflection of who you are, and maybe even a guide to who you're becoming. It's just this little piece of consistency in a very inconsistent world. So I'll leave you with this to think about. What's the one story that keeps calling you back time and time again? And more importantly, who are you right now, in this moment, when you watch it?